Hi everyone, I'm Allison Mädl and this is Lunch Hour Lessons with Allison. Today is December 26, 2018. Every Wednesday at 12:30 I come to you live to introduce a topic related to nutrition and health that I think is interesting and give you a lesson to take with you into the daily life. If you have questions or like what you hear during the show, be sure to like the video or comment and I'll try to answer those. And right after the broadcast, I usually post a transcript on my website at allisonmadel.com. So this week's topic is a message of hope for your health. So as my last lunch hour lesson of 2018, I want to end the year on a hopeful note. I'm going to talk about the emerging science of epigenetics. So once I learned what epigenetics was, it really changed how I thought about genetics and heredity in relation to disease. But first, let's go back to April 1st, 2003, which is when it was announced that the Human Genome Project had been successfully completed. That effectively gave us a map of all the potential genes of the human body, and it was sequenced so that we could find those genes in the human DNA. So genes obviously affect a huge part of who we are, from our eye color, our hair color, to the shape of our noses, but the real hope for the completion of this project was that it was going to unlock the secret to disease. If all the genes are known, the thinking goes, then we can just find the ones that make us sick and do something to prevent it or do something to shut that gene off. But now it's been 15 years, and unfortunately the project hasn't been a cure-all. Genes have been found that link directly to disease, and it's also a lot easier to find them now that the genome is sequenced. But it turns out that many diseases or abnormalities are just not purely the result of a genetic component. It's not that specific. In fact, there's a lot of genes that we can have in our bodies that will never even be expressed in the body unless the right conditions exist. It's like they're there, but they're dormant. So that's where the science of epigenetics comes in. It's like a second wave in the understanding of our genes. Epigenetics literally means upon the gene, and it explains that basically our genes have little switches on them that turn on or off depending on our environmental, lifestyle, and dietary factors. So for example, you may inherit genes from your mother that make you susceptible for breast cancer, say, or genes from your father that make you susceptible to diabetes. If, as you go on and live your life, your diet includes more protective factors than damaging factors, or if it includes more damaging factors than protective factors, it really makes a difference on how those genes are expressed. So say it's more damaging lifestyle and environmental and dietary factors. These genes could be flipped on. Those epigenetic switches could be flipped on and be allowed to be expressed. This could eventually then lead to the diagnosis of whatever dreaded disease is in those genes. But on the other hand, if the diet and lifestyle includes more protective than damaging factors, the genes can be literally switched off and be prevented from ever expressing themselves. So you wouldn't ever manifest the disease. You'd probably never know that you were a carrier unless you had a test done. And you might actually sometimes, some people begin the disease process, but because these protective lifestyle factors are in state, the body chemistry and immune system is so robust and so strong that it just sort of deals with the disease and you're brought back into a state of health. And that is something that's, in my mind, very hopeful. So with only genes in mind and not knowing about these epigenetic switches, it can be really easy to adopt kind of a fatalistic view when we recognize the weak points in our family's health history. And we might think that we're destined to get these diseases. We know that possibly drugs or surgery can help and might give us an extended lifespan, but unfortunately the treatments are often really deleterious for quality of life, and it's not a hopeful scenario. But I did say it was a hopeful message today, and it's true that knowledge is power, because with the knowledge that epigenetic switches exist, a person has the power to not only improve their quality of life before they get sick, and at the same time, they can then prevent those negative possibilities that lurk in the genes. So what are the protective diet and lifestyle factors that switch on the good genes and switch on off the bad ones? Here's just a few examples. So let's start with foods. Organ meats are king. So organ meats like liver, heart, kidney, all of those different organs that we really don't eat anymore in our society have really protective factors in the body. They're basically powerhouses of nutrition, and they should be included more in the diet as often as possible. Organic meats and seafood full-fat dairy, eggs, especially the yolks, lots of vegetables, as many as possible, a big variety of different colors of vegetables, sea salt, mineral-rich water, and little to no added sugar. So just that would go an amazing way towards flipping off those damaging epigenetic genes. Protective lifestyle, really want to have plenty of supportive exercise that doesn't flip on our stress response. And that would be things like gentle walking, Tai Chi, resistance training in moderation. Also important to prioritize and optimize sleep. Make time for leisure activities like reading, watching a funny movie, taking a bath, drawing, playing music. Anything that really builds you up and makes you feel more full instead of depleted is really important. So that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to tell a friend this week's lunch hour lesson, which is that genes do not determine our destiny, and it's never too late to switch on those good genes. Again, genes do not determine our destiny, and it's never too late to switch on those good genes. Like my page to get the accompanying weekend tip that comes out on Saturday mornings, and I'll see you in the new year. Bye for now.